Rob King is die bestuurende directeur van DCD groep en gesels met hom. Rob, goeiemôre en baie welkom.
Thank you very much, Davy.
DCD groep, wat doen julle? En julle oorsprong is in vereniging. Waar kom julle vandaan?
We're a heavy engineering company that operates in the marine, the energy sector, mining sector, as well as the rail sector. So anything to do with steel is where we're involved in. And of course, we have about 11 operations, 3 of which are based in Vereniging.
Okay, so you've been there for quite some time then?
Yeah, well, you know, if you trace the origins of the steel industry in Vereniging, it goes back to about 1947 with Hendrik Janus van der Bijl, that was asked by the then government to establish a steel industry, and quite topical today is a beneficiation of the steel, and that was the start of the then doorbell company, of which that was our predecessors, and we're now known as DCD.
Okay, but you guys, you've got a training facility in Vereniging, nie net 'n opleidingsfasiliteit nie, dit is vaardigheidsontwikkeling, maar ook 'n geleentheid vir mense om makliker werksgeleenthede te kan kry en dis meer. Wat is die rasionaal daar agter? Kom jy sal daarbey betrokke?
Well, you know, Darby, we're about to, if government gets right what they intend in terms of the National Development Plan, we're about to re-industrialize this country. And the one thing that is we're short of are skills.
Yeah.
And, you know, we can sit and wait for government to create the skills, or we can climb in as industry and create it for ourselves. So that's the rationale behind it. And for us, it's quite important to develop the skills that we need today, which I must say has moved on quite considerably over the last 10, 15 years.
Suid-Afrika het inderdaad 'n baie groot tekort aan allerlei vaardighede en ek reken julle spesifieke nywerheid of bedryf besonder baie. Maar het julle opleidingssentra in ander plekke in Suid-Afrika ook?
Absolutely. If we look at Cape Town, for example, we've just finished about 600 million rands worth of works on oil rigs in Cape Town.
Yeah.
We only have about 300 people that work for us permanently, and we were capable of scaling it up to about 1,800 people within 3 weeks. And the rationale, the way we do that is by continuously training throughout the year to make sure that we have people that are capable of doing these things.
Okay, localization, I don't know what it means, but apparently localization is very important to you. What is localization and why is it important?
Well, government's going to spend about 700 billion rand on infrastructure in the rail and energy sector.
Yeah.
And the issue about that is that they can import the equipment. Now, DCD and the business that we're in Vereniging has manufactured in its past about 90% of all the heavy engineering components in in the coal-fired power stations. In Medupi and Kusile, we did about 5% of what we could have done. So what we need is a drive to say, why don't we buy it locally? Which comes with its own challenges. So for us, what is important is that we want government to say, let's get preference and create the environment that local companies can provide those components, not just ourselves or others, but more towards Vereniging and what's actually happening in Vereniging. We currently employ 300 people in heavy engineering. We used to employ 7,000 people back in 1985. And that's what it means to the country. Now, at the moment, we're importing, so we've got an outflow of capital. And in the meantime, we can do it locally with some challenges.
What is the future hold for you guys?
Very positive at the moment. I mean, we've been capable in the renewable energy to get government to lift the local content thresholds. And the local content thresholds at this stage are what drives government's ability to say, we'll place the order on you, but you have to have a certain amount of it with local content. Those thresholds have moved to 40 to 50% of what they're doing in renewable energy. And we've opened up a factory in Kucha to actually build the towers that would, below the wind turbines. Which would have been imported had we not done this. So we are driving quite hard and getting good response from government, from particularly the DTI.
Rob King, bestuurende directeur van DCD groep. Ek wil net vir jou sê, ek wil hierdie Willow Creek is een van ons gewaardeerde borge. Ek wil dit graag vir jou gee. Ek weet nie of jy kook nie, maar gaan kook daarmee. Dit is baie lekker en ek moet vir jou sê ons het baie meer entrepreneurs soos julle nodig in die land. Baie dankie vir
Baie dankie vir die olie.